Troy Smith, James Brewer, LeBradford Smith, the same starting 5 since the opening game of the season. And Reed will step in against Cornelius Holden for the jump. Reed at 6'9" and Holden at 6'7".
You know, it was interesting, David, in your pregame show talking about some different options in the starting lineup. No changes for Louisville, though.
And it is taken by Louisville with Brewer over to LeBradford Smith. And this is Holden, number 30. And Brewer is being guarded by Hunter very tightly. Holden against Reed. And now Tulane will put it in play.
Good aggressive man-to-man defense. Perry Clark, of course, a disciple of Bobby Crimmins. See that good defense down in South Carolina, of course.
So each team misses a shot. We've got no score.
And of course, George Felton also was at Georgia Tech under Bobby Crimmins. So the defense and rebounding has improved this Tulane team tremendously since last year.
That's Brewer recovering it out at the line. So Hunter guards Brewer, and now Reed against Holden. Everett Sullivan out back to the top of the key to Holden, who throws it away. That's a turnover, and Tulane will take it back.
Dave, I think some of the things we've noticed in the last few games, of course, Louisville runs that patented high post offense. But you have to be a good passing team to have success with that. And I think what we've seen up to this point, at least most recently, this is not one of the better passing teams that Louisville's had. And as a result, they're struggling getting into the offense.
This is Gary, number 3, with the ball for Tulane. The pop, number 44. We've got no score in the game, and we've played just about a minute and a half here. Pop looks inside to Gary. Dishes off to Reed for the jam. First basket of the night for Reed, who's averaging just over 16 points a game.
That's one of the reasons he was the freshman of the year last year in the Metro Conference. He brings them to their feet.
Now Holden almost has it taken away over to LeBradford Smith. This is Troy Smith. No good. Holden skied for the rebound, and we got a foul, and it's going to go against Tulane.
Well, once he gets that baseline, David, and you give that up to Reed, he's a very strong player at 6'9", 220. As we mentioned at the top of the telecast, he was the former Mr. Basketball in Louisiana. What a guy to build your program around, and Perry Clark so happy to have him.
Well, Pop got the foul. That's the first foul for 3, LeBradford Smith. So LeBradford comes out gunning up the three-pointer, and that puts Louisville into the lead 3-2.
LeBradford, by the way, last night in practice had a collision with Shannon Fraley and actually bit through his lip. So he has a very large and painful lip that we might be able to get a shot of later in the telecast.
Well, it sure didn't affect his shooting.
Maybe it'll help.
Here's Gary now with the Tulane half-court offense. Sullivan goes against Hartman there, but the foul will be called against Louisville.
Well, Troy Smith has been doing a good job defensively for Louisville this year, and also has done good with some blocked shots, but he gets tagged with that personal foul. Hartman, by the way, is starting in place of the injured David Whitmore. And Hartman's one of those fine, talented freshmen out of New York. He plays that New York style of tough play inside, and I think we just saw it there, David.
Well, he's an 85% free throw shooter, but misses on this first attempt. At a Grand Island, New York. This is both of them, but they got a lane infraction, I believe.
I think they called that an intentional foul on Holden to boot. They gave the intentional foul sign, and indeed it is. Denny Crump's probably going to ask Bobby Ola, Larry Rose, or Sid Gonsolin about this. I'm not sure if we can find out what happened or not, but it was ruled an intentional foul.
So 2 shots coming up for Greg Gary. No, they say, Pop, you got to take these shots. So they move Gary off the line. Well, Pop is a 66% shooter from the line. Gary has been shooting 63%. Now we've got a 3-3 game.
You know, Tulane does have a downside. It's been their team free throw shooting, only 60%.
Well, they're hitting 50% so far tonight, 2 out of 4, and it's a 4-3 Green Wave lead over the Cardinals. Now we've got some early substitutions for Louisville as Mike Case will come in to replace Troy Smith, who has 1 foul on him. And you know, Troy's fouled out of 4 games this year and fouled out at Florida State. Denny Crum is talking to Troy Smith on the bench. 17.5 minutes to go in the half. Early on, 4-3 Tulane.
2-3 zone by Louisville this time. First time we've seen that in a game. They've been playing it some.
Hunter gets it back to Reed. It's tapped up and in by Pop. So Pop has 4 of the 6 Tulane points.
He's really improved his strength in the offseason, put on some weight. He's become a factor inside.
Bradford Smith against Gary, gives him the head fake, missed the shot. And that's Holden fighting with a rebound and put it up and in. So Cornelius Holden fought and hustled his way back to get the point. 6-5 now, Tulane by a point.
Holden had 11 rebounds the other night in that loss at Florida State. Louisville pounded Florida State on the backboards, out-rebounded them by 19, but couldn't hit the basket. Their worst shooting night of the year.
It's a three-pointer by Hunter from deep. It's no good off the backboard, but they whistled a foul. And that's against 44 Pop. That's his second. So the big 6'9" center has picked up 2 early fouls inside the first 2.5 minutes.
Well, Perry Clark said before the season started, after winning 4 games and losing 24 last year, if there was going to be an improvement in this team, it would be in rebounding and defense. And that's one of the reasons they've almost doubled what they won last year.
They got a whistle and another foul. We've had several fouls called here during the last couple of minutes of the game.
Defense a little bit too tight.
That goes on Hartman.
You can play defense, but you can't hang on, right?
That's 5 fouls called between the 2 teams early. Everett Sullivan from out of the corner, good, and that's for 3. So Everett Sullivan with a 3-pointer, LeBradford Smith with a 3-pointer, and Louisville storms into the lead 8-6.
It's amazing. Louisville has shot almost 50% in 3-pointers on the road and only about 28% at home.
Shot right side, Hartman is good. And it's tied at 8, our first tie at 15-40. Bradford Smith over Gary, comes in and out. And Reed protecting that rebound. Back up court now, and Tulane goes to work.
Louisville stays in that zone, 2-3 zone.
Reed with a turnaround shot. A very smooth move by Anthony Reed, who's got 4 points.
And one of the things about Anthony Reed that makes him so effective, David, is he's good on the baseline. We saw that. He will be effective on the baseline against the zone because he has a nice shooting touch.
Bradford Smith driving down into the paint, and the foul is going to go on Hartman, and that's 2 on Hartman. So Pop and Hartman, I believe, each with 2 fouls now.
I like what Louisville's doing, David. They're challenging Tulane. Tulane much deeper than they were last year, but they're challenging him, taking the ball to the basket.
Well, you referred to it as the posse when they bring in the substitutes about 4 minutes into the game. Head coach Perry Clark has just brought in what he calls his posse.
Of course, with Hartman getting the start, that kind of messes the posse up. One of them's missing there and they're hiding in the rocks somewhere, I guess. But usually Michael Christian, Kim Lewis, Hartman, and Makipe Perry check in. And, of course, as we mentioned, David, Christian last year was the leading scorer for Tulane. Now he's off the bench.
And now that's 2 straight free throws by LeBradford Smith. And it's a 10-10 game. We'll be back in a minute with a timeout on the University in New Orleans. As you see, Tulane throwing up 57% early. Shot outside short, that'll lower that percentage. Louisville hitting 43% with 100% of their 3-pointers. Everett Sullivan and LeBradford Smith have both tossed in 3-point shots. Holden with a fake and then the move up, and Reed gets another rebound, averaging almost 10 rebounds a game.
Now here's a guy, Reed, If he averages 18 points the rest of the season, he'll have 1,000 points in it by his sophomore year. That's incredible.
Never been done before at Tulane, and very few other schools, I'm sure. This is Crispin. Now Christian over to Reed, and boy, that smooth shot by Anthony Reed. He hits bottom again.
You know, it's hard to find guys his size that have that soft touch, and he has it.
Right, Case back to Cornelius Holden, over to Case, trying to drive the baseline. Now out to Brewer. Cardinals passing it around with a lot of authority and crispness right now.
Well, you talk about,
that was a foul.
Yeah, you talk about that soft touch. Watch him. He pulls up and he just flips it up there. And I mean, it touches nothing but nylon. Just a great shot by Anthony Reed.
Well, it's 12-10. Tulane with a 2-point lead over Louisville at 13:45 here in the first half.
Back to a man-to-man, David. Louisville on defense.
Eccles over to Christian. Anthony Reed, Christian, the three-pointer. So Anthony Christian hits the first three-pointer of the game for the Green Wave. The average is just over 11 points. Here's a ball thrown away by Everett Sullivan. And Lewis blows the dunk shot. But Reed gives him another crack at it. Christian puts it in. 5 points for Christian. 17-10, Tulane.
And there was a case where Louisville did not hustle back after the missed dunk. There were a lot of Green Wave players there, not many Cardinals.
Derwin Webb tried to do a reverse move underneath, and he is fouled by Perry, number 34. And that is the first foul on Makiba Perry.
There you see the steal, the missed dunk, but look, there's LeBradford Smith, but he doesn't have any help. Now watch the white shirts come into your picture. Finally, Everett Sullivan comes down, but Perry Clark's team really just out-hustled the Cardinals that time for the loose ball. Derwin Webb, on the other hand, did a good job taking it to the hoop, and now he'll go to the line. He's been very productive in his 12 minutes or so per game.
9-point run right now for the Tulane Green Wave, and that has just been broken by Derwin Webb at the foul line. They had scored 9 straight points, and now are leading Louisville 17-11 by 6. Webb averaging a shade under 4 points a game. 6'4" sophomore with his second free throw. So Webb is perfect at the line. 17-12, Tulane by 5. Christian and Lewis in the Tulane backcourt. Louisville with its starting lineup except for Derwin Webb. Holden tried to get the steal, but Christian is open. That's another three-pointer by Christian. And that puts Tulane into an 8-point lead.
Christian last year against Louisville here had 6 three-pointers. Louisville against the half-court trap this time from the Green Wave.
Here's Brewer throwing up a shot. Lewis with a rebound, and Tulane will set up with an 8-point lead at 12 minutes and 16 seconds in the first half. A steal by Derwin Webb. Uncontested, a vicious jam by Derwin Webb.
Derwin Webb, he was quite a football player. I mean, he was heading for the goal line that time and about brought down the backboard here at Fogelman Arena.
He is a strong player.
He is indeed.
And here's a steal by Cornelius Holden. You know, Holden's been hustling on defense. He's tried to come up with a couple. Here's Everett Sullivan. Uses the glass nicely. Everett with 5. And Louisville now quickly has cut it to 4 points, 20-16.
And they did it with the defense. I think both of these teams feel that their key in the game is defense and rebounding.
And that is James Brewer over there, hustling to knock the ball out of bounds. So we got a timeout on the court here at Fogelman Arena at Tulane University in New Orleans. And the Green Wave lead the Cardinals by 4. More out of there because he's hurt not playing tonight for Tulane.
If you're wondering, that's John Albright and Greg Gary. John Albright, an analyst, in here tonight, former player at Memphis State, and they say that he looks like Greg Gary. But I tell you what, Albright can't keep up with him anymore. He's a former player at Memphis State. Put on a pound or two.
20-16, Tulane with a 4-point advantage over Louisville, and there are just under 11 and a half minutes to go in the first half. Lewis to the corner. Now back to Anthony Reed. Tulane has been shooting well in the first half. Louisville shooting percentage after that timeout at 45%. Well, there was no mistaking that by Makiba Perry. First field goal of the game for Perry, 22-16 Tulane. Cornelius Holden with a nice move down the paint, puts it up and in. 4 points for Holden.
You know, you can see a difference in Holden in the last few games. He's really been aggressive, not only getting rebounds offensively and defensively, but taking the ball to the hoop. That's what Louisville had been missing.
About 10.5 minutes left in the first half. Tulane has had the lead most of the way. One of the few misses by Anthony Reed tonight. Ball is tipped. Fought for it, and Holden will control it over to LeBradford Smith to Everett Sullivan. This is Brewer, and now he and Smith set it up. 22-18. Tulane's lead is now 4. There is a turnover by Louisville. That is their 5th turnover.
Can't do that against this team this year. Tulane in the past, you could make 20, 25 turnovers, still win. You can't do that anymore. This guy, Michael Christian, with the ball now, he's a part of that posse group that's in there. Christian really makes a lot of things happen with penetration. He can score inside or out.
Nichols with it over to Lewis and back to Anthony Reed. Boy, that's where he likes to be, down along that baseline. Christian drives by Holden, throws it up and missed it. Out of bounds, ball will go to Tulane. Substitutes coming into the game for Louisville. Troy Smith comes back in. And Kip Stone will be in for the first time tonight.
You saw Everett Sullivan. Matter of fact, he's still discussing the fact he was the only Cardinal under the rebound. Now they're going to give Louisville the ball. I thought for a moment they were going to give it to Tulane.
The crowd cheered as though it was Tulane's ball. 22-18. Tulane leads by 4. They did lead earlier 17-10 by 7. Everett Sullivan hits. They say three-pointer. Hesitated a bit, gave the signal though. That's 2 3-pointers by Everett Sullivan. 8 points in the game. 22-21. Tulane with a 1-point lead.
Good shot by Sullivan. He squared up to the basket. This is an arena that for some reason seems to be very successful in 3-point shots, whomever you are.
Well, Everett Sullivan is favoring a knee as though he may have just twisted his leg down there defending Reed. Perry with a rebound. No good. And that is Troy Smith that clears the board but throws it away right to Christian, and Tulane's got it right back. 6 turnovers by the Cardinals. Reed. 2-point shot by Anthony Reed. 4 field goals and 8 points for the big man.
Well, it started well with the rebound by Troy Smith, but Tulane anticipated the outlet pass, get the steal, and then Reed, who's effective from the top of the key as well.
Ball goes out of bounds off Louisville. Off of Troy Smith, and Tulane will get it back with a 24-21 lead.
There was a case where Kip Stone and Troy Smith were trying to make something happen, and they were both very close to each other. Matter of fact, at the end of that play, Troy Smith said, "Kip, you got to take a shot like that. You were only 8 feet from the basket."
Shot no good, and Troy Smith will clear the board. I mentioned he had 11 rebounds, career high at Florida State. Kip Stone drives down the lane and gets the driving bucket, and it's 24-23.
And that's one of the things that's been missing from the Louisville offense is penetration, other than LeBradford Smith. Many people feel that Kip Stone might get a chance to get a start or two if Brewer doesn't get some scoring going at that guard slot.
Back to a 1-point advantage for the Green Wave. Reed on the baseline is matched up against LeBradford Smith. There's another 3-pointer by Christian. So Christian has now hit 3 3-pointers in this game. LeBradford Smith off balance, puts it in. And it's 27-25 Tulane.
That decision by Smith to shoot was made on his way down that time.
7 points by LeBradford Smith on the Louisville scoring column. We're down to just at 7 minutes in the first half. It's been close throughout the half. Turnaround by Reed. Off the iron, Everett Sullivan leads the break. Troy Smith bobbles it out of bounds. 8 turnovers for the Louisville Cardinals as Smith lets that one get out of bounds and away from him. Timeout on the court here. Bogle
doing something that we haven't seen from anybody other than LaBradford Smith in a while at guard, and that's take it to the basket. Now, here's Louisville leading the break. Eric Sullivan tries to bounce it out on the wing to Troy Smith. Troy just can't find the handle. Not a guy you want on a wing in that situation, and Denny Crum is still frustrated with this team, but he continues to say they're getting better, but they're really going to need some practice time to improve on their passing. Good shooting.
See, the shooting is up, and 3 for 3 for 3-pointers by Louisville with 100% there, and they've hit all 4 of their free throws. But it is 27-25 Tulane with 6.5 minutes left in the half. That is Gary, and he tried to drive on Kip Stone. They called a foul on Stone, first on Stone.
You know, we were talking about those tickets earlier, David. There are Cardinal fans everywhere. Of course, Bruce and Jill Rabowski, transplanted Louisvillians here that always come out to the game. And the Schmidt-Muellers and the Currys have been on the trip to both Tallahassee and here to New Orleans. So Cardinal fans following the team on the road.
Tulane with a 2-point lead. This game was tied at 10.
Good overplay on defense.
But since that 10-all tie, it's been all Tulane in the leading department. That was a nice drive by Greg Gary, his first basket of the night. Tulane by 4. Jermaine Wingfield, the freshman, just into the game for the first time here in the first half. Along with Derwin Webb. Webb cross court. Here is Kip Stone, and he had that pretty much blocked, put it back up. Shovels it inside, and Holden is tied up. Possession arrow points to Tulane. So the Green Wave leading 29-25 at the 5:45 mark will get the ball back. Tulane hitting 75% of their three-pointers tonight. They're 3 out of 4. Louisville's 3 out of 3.
I'm telling you, it's this arena. Both teams are shooting about 33% from three-point land on the year, and as we mentioned earlier, Christian had 6 of them for a school record against Louisville right here a year ago.
Derwin Webb against Nichols, who has seen little playing time this season, but with the injury to Whitmore, Perry Clark figured to give Nichols some playing time here tonight, and that's just what's happened here in the first half. Shot clock at 9 seconds as Reed puts up the jumper. Wingfield controls it out to LaBradford Smith. Louisville trails by 4. Bradford Smith to Holden. Forces a shot up and in. Cornelius Holden with 6 points. And it's 29-27 Tulane.
Cornelius is beginning to get that smell for the hoop when he gets the ball down low. Not afraid at all to take it up. We saw some hesitation from him earlier this year.
Reed to Christian. And that'll be a foul on Wingfield over the back. Kind of a freshman type of foul.
Yeah, it was indeed. And of course, these young freshmen that Perry Clark has brought into this Tulane University program have been very effective. Good leapers. Perry Clark will recruit the same type of athletes that Denny Crum has recruited over the course of the years. They're good athletes. Of course, when Clark was with Bobby Crimmins at Georgia Tech, he recruited the likes of Scott, some other outstanding players there that, of course, Dennis Scott, one of the best they've ever had at Georgia Tech.
Hartman had missed his first 2 at the line, but nails that one. He's a 85% shooter at the line on the season. As you see Everett Sullivan back in, and Kip Stone sits down on the bench for Louisville. Makes it 30-27 as the second one was missed, and so Louisville now with 4.5 minutes to go, trailing by 3.
Here's a little bit of that half court. Let's see if they try to trap out of that. Tulane changing up the defense.
Almost picked it off. Here's Holden, he'll drive, and he has it knocked down. No call. Brewer for a 3. So Louisville trailing 30-27. Here's Lewis putting up an off-balance shot that goes in. That's the first field goal of the night for Kim Lewis. 32-27. Tulane by 5. You know, Louisville's got to watch out for those spurts because that's what's killed them in several games.
No question about it. We saw the same thing at Florida State late in the half.
Everett Sullivan off the glass. He's got 2 threes and 2 field goals. 10 points for Everett Sullivan here in the first half, and Louisville is within 3 points as we near the 3.5-minute mark in the first half.
This is where they can't break down on defense and let Tulane get a run here at the end of the half.
Reed puts another one in. He's having a fine first half. 5-point lead for Tulane at 34-29. Brewer drives the baseline. Now Everett Sullivan and Brewer. Clock down to about 3 minutes. Sullivan hits the turnaround jumper, and he's fouled.
Boy, great body control by Everett Sullivan. As you look at a couple of those Cardinal fans we were talking about earlier that made their way here. Denny Crum has to be pleased about that, David, because Everett was really hammered. But watch the way he continues. Here he takes it, backs his way in. There's the contact. He lets it go. Yes, he gets the basket. Now he'll go to the line.
And the foul on Nakiba Perry. The second on Perry. And Everett Sullivan, first time at the line tonight. Does not get it. So Everett Sullivan averaging 14.7 a game with 12 points here in the first half. 34-31. Louisville trailing by 3. 2 minutes and 50 seconds in the first half. Troy Smith knocks that one out of bounds. As Tulane tries to get it inside, the Green Wave have been throwing up some bad shots themselves over the last couple of minutes here. We'll be back in just a minute. Playing down is out indefinitely. That certainly is going to have an impact on Barry Clark and the Green Wave.
No question about it. Of course, that was a 2-point loss at Memphis State, despite the fact that Whitmore went out in the first half. As you look at the field goal shooting in Louisville, by the way, in 5 of the last 6 games has been under 40%, so that's a positive sign. But Whitmore, a very key player, transfer from Georgia Tech, and it was Elliott Perry that ended up winning this game at the end, as we see Whitmore going after the loose ball, and he dislocates his shoulder right there. And they'll take him out of the ball game, but Perry Clark's team the rest of the way at Mid-South Coliseum on Saturday. As you see Whitmore, the result of that hustle. Now you see him here in Fogelman Arena tonight. Good hustle, but a tough loss at Memphis State.
Top scorers in the game for Tulane have been Christian with 11 and Reed with 10. Everett Sullivan with 12 is leading Louisville. Sullivan with 2 3-pointers here in the first half. There's Lewis bobbling the ball around and throwing it up, and he's fouled as he went for the basket. And that goes against Troy Smith. That's 2 on Troy Smith.
Too much penetration. Louisville was in a zone that time, but that time Lewis was able to get inside the zone and draw the foul. And Perry Clark has done a good job with these young players, working them in, getting them a lot of playing time, and they've been effective.
It's another try. He's got 3 points, 35-31. Tulane with a 4-point lead, and Brewer has it knocked away and out of bounds by Hunter. That's 9 turnovers by the Cardinals first half.
Now we're down to that 2:27 mark and a half, David. It's a 4-point game. Let's see what happens. No swing here for Tulane as of yet.
Memphis State was the first team to exploit the Cardinals late in the first half. There's a 3, and it's good by Kim Lewis. And now it is 38-31. The lead widens to 7.
One of the things Louisville has not done this year, David, is extend that defense to put any pressure on the 3-point shooters. And I think that's why teams have had a lot of success. The defense just didn't respond to the coaching staff to get out there and get on them and put some pressure, put a hand in their face.
Hunter gets his first foul. And that is 6 or 17 fouls against the Green Wave. There have been 6 against Louisville. And we're just under 2 minutes in the first half. So LeBradford Smith at the line, where he is 2 for 2 tonight. The career free throw percentage leader all time at Louisville, and hitting 88% coming in here tonight. That one rolled off. 38-31. 1:55 in the first half. That broke a string of 7 straight free throws for LeBradford Smith. Well, the shot put up is no good.
Once again, Barry Clark's team getting some penetration. You'll see it here. See, Webb tried to come out, got the little shove there against T.J. Hunter. Now Hunter will go to the line, but there was a case where Webb was beginning to come out to put some pressure to make sure that Hunter didn't get an uncontested three-pointer, and Hunter got to step right behind.
First foul on Webb. On assignment there as Lewis comes crashing in to capitalize. 40-31. Another run by Tulane to widen the lead as we hit halftime.
The little things. You can't let the little things like that happen.
Minute 26 to go. Louisville now by 9. Two-pointer is no good, but Gary fouls LeBradford Smith.
Barry Clark's really been out of shape over there. That was right in front of Coach Clark, and he voiced his displeasure very much so. Of course, Denny Crum happy with it because his top free throw shooter will go to the line, but as you mentioned a moment ago, L.A. was the one that missed it. A lot of agricultural majors here behind us here in Green Wave country.
That free throw is good by LeBradford, and 40-32. Louisville now within 8 points. So LeBradford Smith has hit 4 out of 5 free throws. Louisville trails by 7 at 40-33. We got a minute 22 to go and counting here at Fogelman Arena. Tulane in New Orleans.
This time Louisville is extending the defense some now.
Anthony Reed with it now. Out to Gary. Shot clock's at 20 seconds. Game clock at 56, as you see in the lower part of your screen. Shot by Lewis, no good. Out of bounds, and it's going to go over to Louisville. Off of Tulane, or rather, Louisville, yes, as Everett Sullivan will put it in play.
Good backdoor that time by Tulane, but good recovery on the Cardinals defense part, and now they will face a three-quarter court trap. Watch the double team right here.
Over to Everett Sullivan at 40 seconds in the half. Nice pass for the jam over to Cornelius Holden, who now has scored 8 points, and it's 40-35.
That's the way you break that trap. Good ball movement, quick movement. That's why they got the easy two.
Smith and Brewer have not scored for Louisville, the starters. 17 seconds to go as you see the clock at the bottom right-hand part of your screen. Louisville trailing Tulane by 5. Now it's inside 10 seconds. That will count. Gary off balance hits the jumper. That's his second field goal, and it's now 7 points. There are 2 seconds left in the half.
Well, here's the number 2 assist man to LeBradford Smith in the Metro. A little bit of offense, though, from Greg Gary. Nice job getting Smith off his feet, banked it in, draws the foul, and now he'll give Tulane an opportunity to end that first half with a real bang.
It is a 7-point Tulane lead with 2 seconds showing on the clock here in the half. Feeds it the length of the court. Everett Sullivan misses, and that's the end of the first half at Fogelman Arena. Louisville and Tulane have battled to a halftime score of 42-35 in favor of Tulane.
They're so good on defense.
Hands in your face. Very difficult to work against him. Here's Everett Sullivan, though, with a little room to maneuver. Gary has it taken away by Holden, and they're going to call a jump ball. And the arrow goes to Louisville. Or to Tulane, rather. So the Green Wave put it in play. Louisville fails to score in its first possession.
Here's the little general, Greg Gary.
Hartman. He's now got 5 points.
You know, the Green Wave really playing well without Whitmore, and we can't emphasize enough how much they relied on having him in the lineup. In our pregame show, Ron Everhart was saying he's not only our second leading scorer, he's our team leader on the floor, and they haven't had him tonight.
Brewer just about lost the handle on it, going behind the back. Well, Bradford Smith sure has to fight to get open to get anything, with Gary just nose to nose with it.
And he's frustrated right now. You can see it in his eyes.
Brewer along the baseline. That's the first basket of the game for James Brewer. Louisville down by 7 at 44-37. 18:36 early in the second half. Well, Gary was looking for somebody to break to the basket, and they didn't break. 4 turnovers, not that many for Tulane. They played a very steady, clean half of basketball.
Yeah, Perry Clark has done such a good job with this still young team. Only one senior on the squad, Michael Christian. They're going to be outstanding next year as well.
Bradford Smith gets open just a hair on Gary, but missed the shot. Tulane with a 7-5 overall record, 2-1 in the Metro Conference. And this season are 5-1 playing here at home. Everett Sullivan on Hartman. Hartman can't get open, dishes off to Anthony Reed, in and out, and Troy Smith takes the rebound. Louisville down by 7. Holden inside, draws the fake and puts it up. Has Reed suspended in the air. Holden now hits double figures with 10, and Louisville closes within 5.
That was a good job getting it inside. Looked like Reed even got a hand on it, but it still went in for the corn man.
Hartman hits the deck, and the foul, I believe, is on Cornelius Holden. Holden. No, Everett Sullivan gets the foul. That's his first.
Well, let's see if we can pick it up. There you see Pop with it on a high post, and you see Sullivan getting the push right there.
Ball stays in Tulane's possession. So it's 44-39. Tulane by 5. Louisville trailed by 7 at half. Trailed by as many as 8 points in the first half.
We were playing really soft on Gary, giving him a lot of room to start the offense.
E.J. Hunter pushing the ball into the chest of Bradford Smith. The fans here wanted goaltending on Holden, but no call. Here is a lead pass to Troy Smith, who puts it up and in. First basket of the game by Troy Smith. Louisville's now within 3. 44-41 Tulane.
Need to get Troy Smith into the offense. That was a big basket for him to get going. I think his right knee is bothering him, though. He's limping noticeably on defense.
Everett Sullivan again gets tagged with a foul, and that's 2 on Sullivan. You look at a couple of the Louisville fans here at Pocomo Arena here tonight. So Everett Sullivan picks up 2 quick fouls. Reed misses again. Pop with a rebound. Kicked out of there, but goaltending, and that basket will count. Tending called against Cornelius Holden.
Good job by Pop going back up after the miss by Reed. Perry Clark's pleased with the progress of Matt Pop. You see Holden definitely got it. As a matter of fact, that ball had already touched the square and was on the way down when he slapped it away.
Time now, 16:33 in the game. 5-point Tulane lead at 46-41. J.J. Hunter takes it away from Brewer. On the fast break, Brewer fouls him and knocks it away.
Those new players, including David Whitmore, who we're not seeing tonight, the transfer from Georgia Tech, you've got a lot to work with.
Hunter, an 80% free throw shooter, hits both of them. 48-41. Tulane has got its 7-point lead back. So the freshman Stone against Hunter, number 5. Erwin Webb into the game as well, and Stone throws up the shot good, as that is 4 points for Kip Stone. And Louisville trails by 5, 48-43.
Stone, as you mentioned with 4, he played 16 minutes against Florida State the other night and didn't score a point. They need production from Stone.
Everett Sullivan knocks it out of bounds, trying to get the steal. We got a timeout on the court. 15:51 to go in the game.
And Tulane in a 3 Metro Conference game, 5-day stretch. As you see Brewer with some ice on his hip over there. So Tulane won at Virginia Tech, lost by 2 at Memphis. And now this is, of course, a pivotal game here. And we'll have to watch the progress of Brewer. He looks to be quite a bit of pain over there.
Gary with the inbound gets it to Reed. Now back to Gary. 14:45 to go in the game. Both teams shooting well. You see the field goal percentages, first and second half. They've been shooting the lights out.
Extending the defense, not giving Gary a lot of room. They're playing soft earlier.
There's a foul, and Kip Stone has gotten his second foul. That's the 3rd team foul, 4th team foul on Louisville.
You know, we got a lot of activity going on away from the ball in this game. Both teams playing good defense. You see Pop, Kip Stone, and you're saying, well, why is Stone on Pop? That's because Louisville switches. Looked like Pop actually pushed him away there, but they were jousting the whole time, and Stone gets the foul.
Stone playing aggressively defensively.
Like Mardi Gras defense. People everywhere.
Tulane holds a 5-point lead. Louisville led early in the game. It was tied at 10. The Cardinals got within a point a couple of times. Hunter puts it up and in on the drive. G.J. Hunter's first field goal of the game. 50-43 Tulane.
Sold out here in Fogelman Arena. I think their 3rd largest crowd in the last 2 years, and they're loving it.
These teams have played even so far in the second half. Well, Bradford Smith tried to loft one to Everett Sullivan, and it's out of bounds. And Louisville will put it back in play. Sullivan to do the inbounds. 14:44 to go. Bradford Smith to Everett Sullivan, and he misses it, but Holden is there to follow with a jam. That's 12 points in the game for Holden.
And Holden again with that good aggressive play, being there in the right time to knock it down with a follow-up jam.
Strong play by Holden inside. Hunter loops one up, no good, but they say the basket counts.
Holden said he didn't touch it.
They're calling the goaltending call.
With your whistle and your striped shirt, penetration. Did he touch the ball?
Well, that was the play before by Hunter.
Oh, there we go. That's right. Here's the alley-oop miss by Sullivan and the jam job, and that's a good point, Dave. The play we saw earlier was not the ball that we were talking about, whether it was touched or not.
Well, maybe we'll see it later. Maybe we won't. But right now, 52-45. Tulane leads by 7. Foul is going to go on Reed, 55. That's the first on Anthony Reed. You know, a big man like Reed, he doesn't foul out. He stays out of foul trouble.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth, David. I think this team, Tulane, plays great defense, and they don't foul a whole lot. That's surprising.
Everett Sullivan, or rather, Bradford Smith with that field goal now has 11. Louisville down by 5. This is Lewis. Has it taken away. Kip Stone comes out of there with it. The freshman makes a good play. Fast break back to Stone. He's fouled as he tried to put it up.
You know, that was a 4-on-1 break, and I think this would indicate, watch the hustle. There's 3 Cardinals right there, and a 4th one comes in a minute. And the obvious foul, but a good job actually by Perry to prevent an easy basket. And his teammates were hustling back.
That's 3 fouls on Perry. Second team foul on Tulane. Kip Stone been a good free throw shooter this year for a freshman.
You know, there's been some debate that many people feel that Stone should maybe Get a start or two, as we mentioned, at that other guard spot, and bring Brewer off the bench to provide some offense off the bench, because Kip has not been a big scorer coming from the Pines, but he's been much more effective tonight.
Louisville now has trimmed the Tulane lead to 3 at 52-49. We've got 13 and a half minutes to go. Holden tried to make the play. Perry puts it up. They're scrambling on the floor, out of bounds, and it's going to go to Louisville. So the Cardinals get a break in their favor. And trailing by 3, have an opportunity to cut it to 1 or tie it.
And both teams playing very hard. You saw the scrapping for that loose ball. Perry Clark has his club going at it. He's a very excitable guy and loves the job here at Tulane. And Denny Crum has to be pleased with a lot of things he's seen. Now they have to maneuver against the trap. Let's see they have the handle.
Handled it well, at least got the ball to Holden, who missed the shot. Here's Derwin Webb. Derwin Webb capitalizes on it, 52-51. Louisville now within 1 point. They've taken 6 away from the Tulane lead. And lots of time left to play. This is Nichols in the game. Perry misses the turnaround, came up well short, out of bounds, Tulane. So this is as close as Louisville has been on the scoreboard since midway or so through the first half. And Reed has been fairly silent as Webb takes the ball away, but they tag him with a foul.
Take that foul, though. Good aggressive play by Derwin, trying to anticipate and steal it away. And there's David Whitmore, who is not playing tonight now with a dislocated shoulder. Second leading scorer on the year for Tulane, transferred from Georgia Tech, who really has been kind of the heart and soul of this team, but he has to provide just verbal support tonight. They don't know how long he's going to be out, but they want to get him back quickly.
Christian. Goal for Michael Christian, 13 points, but the first bucket by Christian in the second half.
Excellent point, because he was very effective in the first half.
Reed is yet to score here in the second half, and Christian fouling Everett Sullivan. First foul on Christian, and that will be the 3rd team foul on the Green Wave of Tulane.
Now you see down low Sullivan, and you see the reach across the wrist, contact by Christian, and he gets the foul for Perry Clark's team.
Everett Sullivan's first point of the second half. He's got 13 in the game. He's the leading scorer for Louisville. 54-52, and Sullivan has another shot. Everett Sullivan 2 out of 3 from the line tonight, and Louisville is down by just 1 point with just over 12 minutes to play.
Up the defensive pressure, and they've been frustrating the Green Wave offensively here in the second half with good D.
Well, we've gone about 8 minutes into the second half, and Anthony Reed, their top scorer, has not scored in the half. He's had 10 points all in the first half. But of course, it was Christian that bombed away for 3 3-pointers. Here's a steal and now a foul, and that goes against Tulane. Lewis will pick it up, and that would be his first. And that'll be the 15th foul on the Green Wave as we've got a timeout on the court. As Louisville has closed it down to just 1 point. Tulane leads at 54-53. Run has closed it to 54-53.
One of the reasons they've only turned it over once in the second half, and shooting much better than Tulane.
And a chance to take the lead for the first time since very early in the game tonight. Bradford Smith. Derwin Webb drives down the lane, and it won't fall for him. Ball out of bounds, Tulane.
We've been told, too, that we saw earlier on the bench, as you look at the turnover graphic we were just talking about earlier, Boo Brewer's gone to the locker room. He had that ice on his hip. We don't know his status, but he's in the locker room.
Here's Christian, turnaround. Christian now 15 points, and Tulane by 3, 56-53.
Christian, of course, had his success from the outside in the first half, David, but he can score inside, and that enabled him to get in the scoring column here in the second half.
Everett Sullivan along the baseline. Came up well short. Missed everything. Christian has his pocket picked right there, and a foul on Reed. And that'll be 2 against Anthony Reed. Barry Clark working the sidelines.
Barry Clark, I just love him. Mr. Excitement. He has this town on its ear. Of course, Denny Crum over the 20 years has delighted millions of fans of Cardinal basketball. 2 great coaches going out of here tonight. Barry Clark is a live wire.
Under 11 minutes left in the game. Louisville trails by 3. Everett Sullivan. He's fouled by Christian. That would be 2 on Michael Christian. And that is 6 team fouls on Tulane.
Here you see Everett Sullivan, a little off balance, a little contact by Christian. Louisville looking to get some scoring inside against Barry Clark's team if possible. And Everett's a guy that can score inside, outside.
Louisville has been red hot at the free throw line tonight. That makes 11 out of 13 free throws that they have hit. You see the graphic there. Everett Sullivan with 16 points. He's hit 4 out of 5 from the line, while Tulane has struggled at 50% free throw shooting. Louisville trails by 1 point. Here's Reed. And they just let him pick up the rebound. Off balance, no good. He's gone cold shooting. Christian has it blocked by Holden.
There was no question about that. The fans wanted goaltending. That wasn't even close, was it?
No, I don't think it was anywhere close. I don't know how many blocks that is this season for Cornelius, but it's somewhere, I think, over 20.
Yeah, he came into the game with 22, 100 in his career, matter of fact.
Louisville with another chance to take the lead. LeBradford Smith got it. Holden held back. He was up above the rim. LeBradford Smith, 13 points in the game, and Louisville takes the lead 57-56.
Let's see if Tulane tries to get Reed or Christian the ball. They're the main scorers on the floor right now.
Now we'll have a foul here against the Cardinals. So Everett Sullivan has got 3 now. We look at the foul situation. Holden has 1. Sullivan now with 3. Troy Smith 2. Brewer 2, but he's out of the game with an injured hip. 9:46 left to go.
Good defense. You can see it.
Rifles the pass to Christian. He is called for traveling.
See, that's another example of what happens when you put good pressure man-to-man on a team. It makes them think about what they want to do. And that time, the thought was by Lewis, and it was the incorrect thought and his indecisiveness that committed that turnover.
8 turnovers now for the Green Wave. Kip Stone comes out here, and he's fouled by Gary. Crowd doesn't like the call, but Greg Gary now with 2 fouls. And that will be 17 fouls on Tulane.
But Gary's from Anderson, Indiana. He's a smart guy. Here you see the double team, and they get Gary for the foul, but he'll walk away. He really complained to the official, but he did it with his back to the official, so he felt better about it, but didn't risk getting the technical foul.
Here's Kip Stone, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Bottoms, and he gives Louisville a 2-point lead and can make it 3. 4 out of 4 from the line for Stone. The Cardinals continue to hit well from the line, and it is 59-56. Louisville with a 3-point lead. Lofted in there to Reed. They're trying to get some output from Reed, and Holden chops him from the back. So Anthony Reed, I think Tulane's trying to get the ball in there to him.
Yeah, he and Christian are the guys now that Denny Crum has removed 3% at the line. That's incredible for a guy that has the touch like he does.
He's 100% from the line tonight.
It didn't look like it there, did he?
Tulane down by 1, 59-58 Louisville. 9:05 to go.
Press this time by the Green Wave. Now they back off.
This is LeBradford Smith. Kipstone back to Smith. Everett Sullivan quickly puts it in there to Holden, who has it taken away. They're going to time up on the floor. Possession arrow pointing to Louisville.
Both teams really doing a good job going after the loose ball. Louisville did a great job that time of moving it after the half-court trap.
You talked about the lack of passing by this team, crisp passing, a couple of flashes of excellent passing by the Cardinals tonight in this one.
No doubt about it, and I think Denny Crum, when he has some time to work on that in his regular practice sections, a little warm in here now, warm for both Tulane and the Cardinals and Denny Crum.
Everett Sullivan one-on-one move on the baseline. Outstanding play by Sullivan. 15 points, or rather by LeBradford Smith. 15 points by LeBradford. 61 to 58. Louisville by 3. 8:27 left. Holden knocks it up in the air.
Boy, I think Cornelius is going to get this foul, David. It looked like he was fighting hard just to get the position, and actually did come up with a steal, but he was fighting over to try to get to the ball, and they got him for the personal. Tough break for Holden because he was really working on defense and looked like came up with another turnover.
Well, if you go by season averages on free throw shooting, Reed would be ready to miss a couple here. He just hit his last 2 at the line. And Derwin Webb controls the board. And Louisville with a 3-point lead and the ball. That is the largest lead of the game tonight for Louisville at 61 to 58.
Great backdoor that time. We haven't seen that, David, and again, that I think is a result of passing. Webb didn't get it, but he drew the foul. But that's good to see that. Denny Crum, you see him. Yep, that's what we want, guys. Use that backdoor, and we'll watch it. Great pass by Smith. Webb was wide open, and Reed really hammered him, and Derwin couldn't get the basket to go down.
So we go back to the free throw line, where the Cardinals have been very proficient tonight. Derwin Webb hit 2 for 2 at the line in the first half. 6 points on the night for Derwin. That was the 18th foul on Tulane. Louisville also with 18 fouls. And of course, the new rule in college basketball this year, once you hit the 10th team foul, you get 2 free throws, the other team. Webb missed it, but Stone came out of there with it. Everett Sullivan goes to the corner for 3. Derwin Webb and Holden hit the boards hard, and Louisville has the ball.
Good job. Get it back out and set up the offense.
3-point lead. Louisville trying to snap that 6-game losing streak. Trailed by 7 at halftime. Here's LeBradford Smith trying to go one-on-one in the lane. Off balance, good. 8 points in the second half. 17 in the game for LeBradford Smith.
Smith, of course, has been in a slump, but he has the touch tonight. And I think Tulane's going to take a timeout here. They don't like by much more than just a football game. All the excitement around it, as you described.
People at Florida State were talking about it as well. As we continue to travel on the road, it is 63-53 Louisville by 5, and by far its biggest lead of the game.
Saw that graphic, only 40% shooting by Tulane in this half. That's because of good D.
Gary with 6 points closes it to 63-60. Each team with 18 fouls. Holden has it intercepted. And a whistle back here, over and back called against Tulane.
Well, the ball and both feet must be in front court before you actually have possession in front court. Perry Clark is not a least bit a happy camper at all. Let's see if we can pick it up. If the ball in both feet, let's see. Ooh, I don't know. He passed that across the line. The man that passed the ball did not have both feet across the line.
You got to watch, because there are some superfluous lines on this court here.
That's right. Volleyball lines, I think.
63-60. Louisville holds the ball and the lead. 6.5 minutes left to play. Derwin Webb looking for that move on the baseline. 8 points for Derwin Webb.
You know, for a big guy, Webb doesn't need much room to find the hole, does he?
He just can glide right along the baseline. Cardinals come up with a steal. So Louisville with a 5-point lead. Just over 6 minutes left, and Holden has just deliberately hit Gary up here and drawn the foul.
Well, that's the second intentional foul called against Louisville. Gary and Holden weren't even anywhere near the play. I think they have been jousting quite a bit. Denny Crum's concerned because now, David, it not only gives them the 2 shots, but possession of the ball. And with 6:04 to go, this could be a crucial mistake.
Well, you're right. It was completely away from the ball, and Holden shoved Gary very deliberately. But he missed the first free throw. A 63% shooter at the line as Denny Crum will talk to Cornelius and take him out of the game.
Could be very costly. You gotta hold your temper. Denny Crum, you see him talking to Holden about it now. He's shaking his head. Corin, we're in this game. We have the lead. We had the ball. You made a great defensive play. Think. Don't do anything stupid. Even as much as you want to. You can tell Coach Crum is just not, you don't see him get upset very much, but he's trying to break this losing streak.
And it's a 4-point Cardinal lead, 65-61. Clock now inside. 6 minutes to go. Gary against Stone. There's contact over there, and the foul is going to go, I believe, on Kip Stone.
You watch, they're going to call everything now with a fine-tooth comb. You're going to see a lot of fouls here in the last 5:51. Puts it now at that 2-shot situation you mentioned earlier.
That is the 10th team foul as Christian steps up the line. Shoots about 68% from there. First time there tonight. Tulane's got a couple of good free throw shooters and then a bunch of players in the 40, 50, 60% category.
Poor free throw shooting cost them the game at Memphis the other night.
65-62. Louisville by 3. 5:48 to go. Louisville's biggest lead was 63-58. 5 points.
Get rid of it.
He walked with it. Coach Crum coaching.
Indeed, he is with the freshman. That time, Gary had the good D on the Frost Kip Stone, and Kip was concerned that he needed to get rid of the ball or he was going to get the 5-second count. And again, the indecisiveness, and he turned it over.
Stone, very tight defense. Here's Reed back out to Christian for 3. Fourth three-pointer for Christian. Game is tied. 65 all.
And Christian excites this crowd, and Louisville now is going to take the timeout.
Tulane and Louisville are all tied up with 5:07 to go. Minutes ago.
See, David, he just come up with a steal. Now watch Gary. Gary is harassing him all the way. There they are, going right down the court. Gary maybe has a little bit of a hand on him. Then right here, Holden shoves him away. And that's where they got him with the intentional foul. And it was Michael Christian, who was so effective with the three-pointer in the first half, that got him to tie this game. And as you gave his statistic, David, see, a little soft. Nobody out there with a hand in his face.
5:07 left to play in the game. That shot by Christian has tied it. 65-65. 4 three-pointers in the game by Michael Christian. We've got 22 points in the game. make that 19 points for Christian.
Very small arena. They're right on top of us. And you see the good shooting by both teams.
This is Louisville's best shooting performance, I believe, of the season, over 60%. Foul is on Tulane. That is the third on Gary.
Has not been able to put his finger on the shooting problems either, because as you mentioned, last 3 games coming in here tonight, 38%. Prior to that, they've been over 50 almost every game.
That was the first miss at the line by Stone. Sullivan follows it up, though, and gets the bucket. Everett Sullivan with a bucket that puts Louisville back on top, 67-65, 4:48 to go in the game.
That was a big hoop because it makes Tulane still fight uphill a little bit.
18 points for Everett Sullivan. Tulane with 4.5 minutes to go, trailing Louisville by 2. Lewis got it to fall. 10 points by Kim Lewis, tied up again, 67 all.
That was just a great play by Lewis because Webb had the good defense on him, but he just backed in and put it in the hole.
Derwin Webb, baseline, kicks it back out to Everett Sullivan for 3. I tell you what, Everett Sullivan, 21 points, playing a very, very solid basketball game.
He is indeed. Now, and watch him on the defense here.
70-67, Louisville by 3. Here's Christian for 3. And Anthony Reed out-hustled Troy Smith for it. And it's out of bounds off Derwin Webb.
Yeah, and you're going to see Cornelius Holden come right back into the ballgame. There was a case where Troy Smith was simply flat-footed. You described it very well. Anthony Reed just out-hustled Troy. Now, we saw Troy earlier in the game, to his credit, limping a little bit. I'm not sure he's at 100%, but he certainly did not spring after that loose ball, and that's why Reed got it.
Well, Louisville is up 70-67. 3 minutes, 45 seconds to go. This game was tied at 65, tied at 67. Everett Sullivan broke the tie with a 3-pointer. Well, Christian was trying to hit a player breaking by and missed him and threw it out of bounds. A break for the Cards.
You mentioned the fact Tulane is 5-1 in this building. Very small building, only about 3,200 people really get into the game. That one loss, by the way, was to Wake Forest by only 2, so they're tough here.
You see the turnover. Margin here is Holden all alone for a jam. 14 points, Cornelius Holden, 5-point Louisville lead.
Great job by Kip Stone, the freshman, coming up with a big play.
3:12 to go, Louisville 72-67. They've had 5-point leads, biggest leads of the game for the Cardinals. Hunter to Reed. And Holden goes up and gets another important rebound.
Boy, I tell you what, Cornelius has been so consistent. He got the intentional foul, but that was because of the emotion. He just has to learn to be smart and control his temper.
5-point lead. Everett Sullivan has it blocked, but fouled by Carlin Hartman. 3 on Hartman. And that should be the 10th team foul against Tulane.
What a difference of handling the ball in this half. You see the foul as Sullivan was going up for the jam. But the guards are really doing a nice job outside, finding the open men against that half-court defense by Tulane. We haven't seen much of that in the last 5 or 6 ball games, but
selects outstanding engineering students for full-time work at our...
Louisville on a 7-0 run has outscored Tulane in the last couple of minutes. They go to the three-pointer with Christian. And Everett Sullivan has the rebound, and Louisville protecting a 7-point lead. 2 minutes, 27 seconds to play. Cardinals trying to snap a 6-game losing streak.
Spread it out now. They're going to make Tulane come out and foul. Both teams have 10 fouls, so it'll be 2 shots on any foul committed by either team.
Shot clock, 18 seconds. Hipstone and Hunter is all over him. No call. Derwin Webb rifled one off of Cornelius Holden out of bounds.
Derwin was trying to throw that ball like a football. He just whipped it too hard. There's a bounce pass. You could read the lips of Denny Crum. He said, that's where you want a bounce pass. Now he's telling the rest of the team that ball should have been on the floor.
1:47 on the game clock. 7-point lead for the Cardinals. Here's Anthony Reed. And you know, that's the first field goal by Reed in the second half.
And I think that shows how well the Cardinals have played inside with the defense.
He's got 14 in the game, but has not done big damage. 74-69 Louisville. Hunter went for the steal. Shot clock, 24 seconds to go.
See if they can get Webb open underneath the basket. Ooh, Christian's a little bit bent out of shape right in front of us.
Christian put a fist down on the table about 2 feet from me.
He left a mark there, too.
Stay away.
That's right. We're not in this game.
A minute 8 to go. 5-point Louisville lead. Here's Everett Sullivan. Bounce pass Holden on the baseline. They say no, charging. That'll be 4 fouls by our records on Holden.
And they didn't get the basket, I don't think. That's the main thing. Denny Crum was talking to Holden, said, Corn, if you're going to take that shot, go straight up. This is a player control foul, so they didn't count the basket. Tulane will get the ball.
1 minute and 3 seconds and running. 74-69 Louisville. Everett Sullivan on Christian. The big 3-point shooter for the Green Wave, Christian.
Gary
has it blocked inside, but a foul on Louisville.
Well, Tulane, if they don't get the 3-point shots, they're going to get the penetration and try to pick up some ground at the line. There you see, Stone goes up. Ooh, I tell you what, that was pretty good defense right there by the freshman Kip Stone, but they got him with the foul.
And this is Greg Gary at the line. He's hit 2 out of 3 there tonight. (74-71).
The press.
Louisville by 3, fighting the press. Christian about 4 rows up into the stands. 46 seconds left to go. 74-71. Tulane trails Louisville by 3. Kip Stone for Everett Sullivan. And now Louisville's going to try to put it in the deep freeze. Here's Derwin Webb. Big basket by Webb.
It was there. He took it.
6 points in the second half. 10 in the game by Webb. 5-point Louisville lead. Christian is fouled trying to put up the shot by LeBradford Smith.
You know, there's a tough situation. Bobby Ola was all the way underneath the basket and made that call against LeBradford Smith when there were 2 officials on the outside. And that was right in front of us, and it didn't seem to be any contact at all. LeBradford is complaining about it, but Ola came from all the way underneath the basket to make that call when 2 other officials were standing right there and didn't see any contact. And Jerry Jones, who doesn't get real emotional, was about to lose it over on the bench for that very reason.
Christian, a 68% shooter at the line, misses one. 24 seconds. 76-71 Louisville. This is Michael Christian.
He makes it. You'll see the press.
Now the press. Holden is fouled. It's either on Christian or Reed. It's on Reed, and that'll be, by our marks, 3 fouls on Reed. 22 seconds to go. And now Louisville will get its chance at the free throw line, and they've certainly shot well at the line tonight.
Denny Crum's the hot building tonight, and he's really working up a sweat.
77-72, Louisville by 5. 22 seconds left.
No fouls. Denny Crum shouting out to his team, just play good defense, don't foul.
2 clutch free throws by Holden. 78-72. 6-point lead for the Cardinals now inside 20 seconds. Gary puts up the 3. Foul.
Denny Crum can't believe that Webb was anywhere close to even get the foul, because now that's going to be 3 free throws for Gary. And he really forced that shot. I mean, it wasn't there, and Webb was in the area. Derwin didn't think that he fouled, but I think what Coach Crum is saying, David, don't put yourself in a compromising position where they even think you can foul. Stay away.
Well, Crum just asked for and was granted a timeout. And Gary will go to the line. He gets 3 free throw chances. Foul trying the three-pointer.
The old bugaboo from Perry Clark's team. They have just not shot free throws well this year.
This guy's a 63% shooter at the line.
And there's nothing Perry could do. Had a little lump in his throat, maybe.
1 out of the 3, 78-73. They could have been within a 3-point shot had he made all 3. Fast break. Tipstone walked with it. Denny Crum thought it should have been a foul called on the play. Pleading with the official. 78-73. Louisville by 5. There are 15 seconds to go.
See, Denny wanted to foul. You'll watch Tulane launch the threes here.
I'd look for Christian to try it. No, it's Hunter. Hit the end of the backboard. LeBradford Smith up with it, and he is fouled by Hunter. That stops it at 7 seconds to go.
Well, I tell you what, you got to give this team a lot of credit. This is probably as tough as any place to play in the Metro now. And Denny Crum is really upset because he thought Kip Stone was fouled earlier, as you indicated, when they called the travel. Denny Crum has been pretty livid at times tonight.
Well, they're taking some time here to wipe up a wet spot around midcourt. 7 seconds, and it is 78-73. Louisville with a 5-point advantage. And Gary hitting only 1 of the 3 free throw chances he had, but now it is the best free throw shooter for Louisville, and that is LeBradford Smith.
Now some practice days coming up. Some positive things to think about.
18 points as it rolls out on LeBradford Smith tonight after 4 points at Florida State. Gary for 3. Holden pulls it down. There it is. The game is over. And Louisville has broken its 6-game losing streak, the longest one they've ever had under Denny Crum. They win it tonight here at Tulane on the road. The Cardinals 79 and the Green Wave 73. Unofficially, we have 18 points for LeBradford Smith here tonight. And 20.